early sword assured since they're going into hard mode here.
And we're off.
And immediately, those reassuring words from the uncle.
And just a little love in the chest.
Now that little bit of love, a little bit more valuable in hard mode since our heart capacity is down to 14 from 20. That is one of the hard mode variations for the seed. And it is not uncommon for the number of hearts you see the runners finish the seed with to be like a 7 or 8.
Definitely, every little bit of health helps when everything's still doing that full amount of damage, but you can get a little less safety. All 4 swords are able to be looted, but you can only get the tempered maximum. You only get the fire shield, only allowed the blue mail. So a lot of that safety is removed, so execution definitely key here.
Yep, that is right. And we also have several other hard mode nerfs. We've got reduced potion effectiveness. We've got no stun on those boomerangs. What else do we have? No invulnerabilities on the Cane of the Cane of Burna.
Yeah, and then definitely the other thing that's easy to bring up is there's a caveat to that no vulnerability where in rooms where it's necessary, it still works as normal.
Yep,
so
that's right.
The Spike Cave and the Dark Maze of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, the developers giving the racers a little bit of a break with that.
All right, and let's see what we have down here. First chest, just the key. Let's continue on.
Now we've got Mikan on the left is running that bunny sprite. That is a sprite that I like to see for inverted seeds, but I have not seen that on inverted yet. And here we have non-inverted and the bunny. It's a little interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be curious to see if Quizbowl is just running the vanilla link, or if maybe it's the hat link.
So let's, while we're just waiting for some more progress here, the all dungeons requirement means that we're going to have to get, in addition to the 7 crystals to access Ganon's Tower, we'll need all 3 pendant dungeons cleared as well, and also Aga 1. So both of our runners will be clearing out basically the entire world, meaning there's no chance to skip dungeons based on your the inventory that you find as you go through the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It also brings up the possibility of required items for a pendant dungeon being in Ganon's Tower.
That's right. That is one of the fantastic things you can see in an all dungeon seed. Something like if you end up with a pendant in a place like Turtle Rock or Swamp Palace, the hook shots in Ganon's Tower, the ice rods in Ganon's Tower. A lot of possibilities. We'll have to see how those pendants are distributed so that we can start entertaining some of those more trolly item combinations.
Alright, and definitely one other thing we can note that's really good for these runners to see is seeing those bombs in Zelda's cell, so we won't have to worry about farming them to get to those items in the back of Escape.
Yep, that's right. Especially in a hard seed, you want to get those extra items in the back because the more items that you can front load into the seed, the less lethal it's going to be, since our runners are going to be in 3 hearts and green mail for probably a fair bit of this early seed here.
And it never feels good to leave that location behind because it's a long walk back if you can't find an early lift upgrade, and it could be hiding in those 3 chests.
Yeah, I have seen that in seeds where a runner does miss an early power glove in those seeds and has to come back with what should have been the Titan's Mitt. So luckily we get to avoid that tonight.
Alright, and just pass it on through the escape sequence, spinning our way through the ropes. Curious to see if there's anything else of note hidden back here in the sewers. Next test reveals the Bombos Medallion.
Oh, there we go. So we're going to need at least one medallion to finish this seed. We might need all three, which is another fun thing to see. That's if we get Ether and Quake on Mire and Turtle Rock, and we get Fire Rod locked in Ice Palace.
Ooh, Fire Rod and Ice Palace. Never a fun feeling. And as Mikan makes quick work of the true boss of the escape sequence, the Key Rat.
Yeah, Mikan having a great escape sequence here, heading for his 3 chests. Let's see what kind of loot we get out of here. So we get some heart and some cash. Heart's nice to have early on, especially since, again, in hard mode, even getting to 10 hearts is pretty rare. And that early cash meaning that by the time they get to Kakariko, they can do the stuff like Bottle Vendor, and they won't have to farm for rupees, hopefully.
No, definitely, they're set up for those early money checks. And Mikan coming in just a hair over that 6-minute escape sequence goal.
Yeah, still a very good time.
Has a little bit of issues with the priest, and picks up his little love and heads on out into the world.
So it's interesting to see now whether or not either of our runners is going to do a lumberjack check, since Agile 1 is a requirement of seed completion, so lumberjack will eventually be accessible. So they may elect in that case to skip lumberjack for now and maybe come back a little later. We'll have to see if we get that info early.
Of course, there's still that long possibility of a bootsless seed. You do need those boots to get in there. We see just the hearts from the... gotta be at least tier 2 tree pole, if not tier 3 by now. I've lost track.
Yeah, I'm terrible at tracking those tiered poles, so I'm not going to be able to help with that. We've got Quizbowl doing a lumberjack check. I have no idea what that was.
That was a piece of heart.
All right, so we will not be back to Lumberjack Cave unless I can't even imagine very dire circumstances you would need that.
And nothing really of note inside the Lost Woods. A couple extra booms, which is nice. We'll have enough bombs to finish all these bomb checks here. And let's see what the thieves are holding on to today. Starting off with a piece of heart, a big 20. Lift upgrade.
Oh, the power glove. It's so bad.
Just like that joke's become. I mean...
I only brought that up because a friend of mine mentioned it's so bad earlier tonight, and I made a power glove joke, and he didn't get it. So I thought people would get it here at least, but, you know, just because you get it doesn't mean you have to respond positively.
So is your name Tao, or is it Lucas?
I will withhold my answer to that question.
California. There's little booms in the well.
Oh, the hook shot and the red meringue.
Gotta love it. Well, the stun prize is now available to us with that hook shot. The boomerang won't do a whole lot, but that hook shot sure is nice.
What are those?
I believe those are the Pegasus boots, sir.
I figure I'll just get all the overdone item phrases out of the way. I'll take care of those.
And I'll just be the resident anti-joke.
I like it. So yeah, early boots, that is a fantastic thing to have, all that mobility for the whole seed, and since that is so early in the game ending Kakariko, that means both of our runners are going to be going full tilt this whole seed.
And looks like a map check, but I did see a crystal on the eastern, and I missed the other two. But I'm watching again.
And there we go. Those early boots paying off with a Master Sword for Mikan.
All right, and that is the Pendant of Courage in Tower of Hera and a regular crystal in Desert Palace. Not as big to note of. Nope. It's not as big to note of what's crystals and pendants, so we need to complete them all, unless we need to find an item in Ganon's Tower. Or, and of course, that pedestal.
Yep, and also we got that green pendant item too, and Tower of Hera being a very quick dungeon to clear does give that a little bit extra value.
Absolutely. Mikan is going to make use of his early hookshot and to do a little bit of clipping here. Nothing like saving a trip on the way through here.
Yeah, Mikan with 5 hearts already in this this hard mode seed. That's actually pretty generous.
We've picked up 2 heart containers and 2 swords already, and we were just starting the South Shore. Is this even hard mode?
Yeah, this is definitely a seed that could be harder, but maybe it's going to come down to that routing and that item placement being the real difficulty of this seed.
Alright, and what are the mini Moldorms hiding for us today? A heart container, $5. The blue mail, heart piece, and the quack medallion.
6 hearts, Master Sword, blue mail, under 12 minutes in hard mode. Yeah, I'm definitely sticking with the is this even hard mode comment.
Well, we'll find out. We're still gonna make our way through that crab army of the South Shore. Deadliest enemies in the game. Though a little less scary with that blue mail in tow. Alright, and the Long Rock to Ice Rock Cave reveals $5. Now, if memory serves me correctly, a lot of these $5 coins are missing heart pieces and containers. It looks like we have a water walk set up for Mikan.
Yeah, here we go. Mikan opting for some early sequence breaking on this seed.
Go take it to Hylia Island, and it's just $5. Let's see what our hobo's holding on to. No Moon Pearl, so I doubt he'll pursue this any further, but knock off that big 20 check right away.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens next. Now we are just a lamp away from Aga Tower access, so Forced Aga 1 before Dark World is not necessarily out of the question yet.
Now we still have a few checks. We have all of the front side of Eastern and Sasrahala's Closet. Alright, Mikan, what is the Kakariko Village Elder holding out on us today? Some water toes and some cash. Cannot complain.
Yep, those flippers opening up some more overworld checks for us, but looks like Mikan is going to opt to dip into Eastern Palace here. We'll have to see how deep he goes, if he's going to sequence break some of those dark rooms.
Right, and Quizbowl opted to check the Bog Rocks just to get 10 arrows. Look like he is going to go sequence break the mountain. With that hookshot in tow, there's a lot of items up there.
Yeah, there's going to be quite an item pool. This is a nice divergence from our runners this early in the seed. We'll have to see which of their gambles is going to pay off here.
Well, it's interesting to note that while Quizbowl has more items to find, he's out of sequence where Mikan is in sequence. As the logic is never going to force you to go through dark rooms, at least in this glitchless mode. And Uncle Bombs from the old man. And we will continue our descent up the mountain and our trek through the palace that is eastern.
So Quizbowl electing just to go up to Spectacle Rock, he's going to grab this hint tile. This is a play I really like.
Alright, and what is our first one here? Aim at the eyes of Goma. And then we see that some cash is above the pose on Mikan's side, so we will not be going to Graveyard Ledge. The big chest of Eastern reveals to us just a penny.
So I saw the graveyard hint, but I did miss the hint from Quizbowl's side.
Yeah, it was a Zelda 1. One of those green texted joke hints which are not required.
Yeah, probably a little bit less useful since we are not playing Zelda yet.
Wait, we're not?
Well, I mean, we've got retro mode, but...
Oh, I see. Alright, and...
Tempered already for Mikan.
So we have
Is this hard mode?
So we've got the out of sequence for the tempered sword. What's left for our runners here? Well, I suppose we're heading up to the waterfall ferry here to hopefully find our progression. As we have Quizbowl going through Paradox Cave, finding $20, $300, the hammer, Cane of Brine, not great, and the Moon Pearl.
Wow.
So that tells me that the lamp or flute has to be hiding in the Zora area.
Yeah, it's got to be either on the scam artist himself or in that waterfall cave.
Or on the ledge. We do have flippers.
That's right, and of course for the for the truly circuitous routing, we could end up with something like the book up there, which would send them to Desert Palace.
Well, it definitely feels like the great sequence break for Quizbowl is he's going to head his way over toward the Tower of Hera.
Yeah, and this is actually great for Quizbowl because we know he's going to have to head over to that Eastern Palace area at some point. And assuming that he is not fire-locked out of Tower of Hera, he will be able to get that green pendant and check off another item from his list.
And it looks like Mikan is decided to head up the mountain too, so it's going to be a while before we get to see where that logical access for the mountain is, as we find just the joke hint for Quizbowl, and he is fire-locked and he is on his way out.
Yeah, Quizbowl probably getting a little bit annoyed at the hints at this point.
Definitely would not disagree there, as Quizbowl's going to make his way through that long trek of Spiral Cave. It would have made it a little bit shorter by those very early boots.
Made a little bit longer by the what are those? The electric jellyfish called, actually?
Bari, B-A-R-I.
Bari, got it. By the end of this tournament, I'll probably know the names for maybe a quarter of the enemies in this game.
I may also keep a chart up next to me. Just maybe. Alright, Quizbowl having cleared the mountain, he heads back to Sanctuary. And Mikan is going to head over to the Eastern Palace area. Oh, no, he's gonna head over and follow those flippers. And it looks like Quizbowl has just decided I'm not following the flippers. I'm heading to the Dark World.
Yeah, it looks like he is opting to enter from into the Village of Outcasts instead of doing the Hype Cave entrance for Dark World. Oh,
And
there's
there's
that
our
lamp.
lamp.
Okay, so we are now technically in logic. Quizbowl still needs to grab that lamp, but between the two commentators, we can see where they were supposed to go.
Alright, and we can check the Zora Ledge on Mikan's side to see 50 rupees, and he's out. He doesn't have enough for the king of all scams. Mikan is headed back for the mountain. I don't think he actually did he? I don't think he made it over to Paradox Cave yet.
Yeah, so I believe that Mikan still needs to do his Death Mountain checks, while Quizbowl has cleared out those items.
And Quizbowl is hanging out in Skull Woods to see what we've got hidden hiding in here. And there's a shovel.
Can you dig it?
Call me a sucker. As we out-reference each other, we find just another small key in Quizbowl. As Mikan finds his Moon Pearl and Hammer in Paradox Cave. As Quizbowl on the right is just not having fun with our friends, the Gibdos. I can't decide which enemy I dislike more, the Gibdos or the Dead Rocks.
Well, that's a toughie. I think I'm gonna go with Dead Rocks myself.
Dead Rocks are a little less dangerous. They're just kind of annoying. Gibdo Hugs kind of hurt, as Quizbowl is not quite perfectly where that statue needs to be to push that button. Interesting little bit of hitbox there. And Mikan's making his way into the Tower of Hera to find out that he can't do a whole lot here.
Well, Mikan will have that lamp, so he will be able to finish the Tower of Hera.
Oh yes, forgot about that lamp. I'm quite fond of it.
Yep, this is where the sequence breaking can really start to either help or hinder your progress through a seed.
Definitely depends on how much you're breaking through. Alright, and Mikan is going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break here, perhaps. And again, he doesn't really have a good setup for it. Looks like he's also setting himself up for an eventual death warp. The Tempered Sword was in the vanilla big key chest of Eastern Palace, for those asking in chat.
Alright, so Quizbowl's heading down, giving us our first look at the Village of Outcasts.
Interesting to see what our sea house is holding on to. Just 20 bucks. Mikan takes a skeleton hug to get himself back to the door.
That is an excellent death sprite right there.
And there's still one item left to find in the Tower of Heroes. We find another heart in the brewery. And our chess game prizes are a single bomb and a piece of heart.
Bringing Quizbowl up to 8 hearts. Wow, that is a lot for this early in hard mode.
We have a lot of our safeties already, which is interesting to see as we find just the breed on Mikan's side, and hey look, another useless hint. And our second item in Tower of Hera is just $300.
Yeah, so Mikan now is sitting on that Zora money, but he has already gone up to Zora, whereas Quizbowl has not hit that area yet since he has not gotten those flippers. So it's going to look a little bit more palatable for him when he gets over there.
And as Moldorm decides, no, you're not coming down here. Even with Tempered Sword, Trolldorm just has his ways.
There we go, Mikan takes him out.
Is rewarded with the compass and a green pendant 25 minutes into the seed. That's one dungeon down and all the rest to go.
Yep, still have to complete all those dungeons, but getting that green pendant out of the way early is a very nice thing to have off the runners' minds.
Absolutely, and Mikan will continue to check on the mountain, not fighting a whole lot through the spiral cave, and see where they end up next.
Quizbowl having a little bit of trouble there in the hellway of Thieves Town.
One of my least favorite rooms in the game, in my opinion. Will we see a useful hint? No! But, actually that is useful, as that lets us know that green pendant Mikan picked up isn't a lot of use.
Yeah, it's, I mean, for Quizbowl, actually, that hint is not going to matter so much for him, because I don't think he's actually gone to Sahasrali yet. So, it's not going to save him a whole lot of time, because he might hit Tower of Hera first, but at least he knows he doesn't need to. Picking up his Fisher Price Shield here in Thieves Town.
Well, he was already up to Tower of Hera, so that'll take a bit off his mind, where he can now leave Tower of Hera all the way until he would need to get like out of Ganon's tower or something.
Alright, so we've got red crystals on Misery Mire and Ice Palace.
You gotta find a cane soon, and a flute, if you want to see that fat fairy. Alright, and we've entered the Hype Cave. How are we feeling today on Hype? 20 rupees! 3 bombs! A heart container! 20 rupees! And a plastic shield! Huzzah!
Not especially hype. I think our Hype Cave was that mini Moldorm cave on Death Mountain.
That was a thing. I didn't see what was in the Hammerlock chest there. Ah, just 5. And our pal Stumpy says, "Here's $20. I'm now a tree."
Quizbowl is picking up the first bottle of our seed down by the Maiden's chest.
And it's nice to see it is a blue potion, which a little bit is reduced in hard mode, only 7 hearts and half a magic refill, but still some of the best safety in the game. And between 1 and 30 digs for Mikan, what will we find hidden in Alec Baldwin's garden today?
I'm not sure I've heard that. Is that that's a ball joke?
I don't know. We dig and dig and dig to find $5. And Quizbowl is pretty much on script for his blind fight.
Yeah, I mean, what is up to 8? Yeah, 8 hearts still. Blue mail, no problem. Blind
is rewarded with the compass and our first crystal of the game 29 minutes in. Alright, it looks like Mikan is going to make his first visit towards the Village of Outcasts. It looks like we have in chat an explanation as to why that sprite is called Alec Baldwin in some circles.
Yeah, been a very enlightening evening.
Shoutouts to them. Now I feel I need to rewatch that movie.
It's a great movie.
Go ahead, make my millennium.
Alright, so Mikan's clearing out Village of Outcasts here. Quizbowl looks like is going to do the Southern Dark World chest. I believe Mikan's already done.
It looks like we're not seeing a lot of new territory here at the moment. So if you've got yourself a spare moment during this race, especially with a little time, please give these runners a follow. They're putting themselves out there and putting on a great show just for you. So please give them a little bit of love. I can't say it's really an old reference, because Beetlejuice is timeless, both in character and in movie.
So Quizbowl entering the Hype Cave, which we know is a sort of disappointment cave, aside from that one heart.
Alright, Quizbowl, what is next for you? That is a question on my mind. And I'm thinking we're looking at the Palace of Darkness. He does have that bottle in tow, so we could see everything but the boss room.
It looks like he's electing to head up to Pyramid right now, and it's possible he might go up to Catfish as well.
Interesting, as he won't be able to easily route in, as he lacks the mirror, he won't be able to easily route in that Zora area check. As Mikan finds out that turning in that green pennant would be a waste.
Yeah, that's a good point about the routing, because you do want the mirror to go up to Catfish, and it looks like Quizbowl is electing to skip the Catfish. Does make a little bit of sense, because he still does not have those flippers.
And there is a lot more item density here in the Palace of Darkness tournament. With that bottle, you would be able to pull off the bottle glitch in order to access the Bowlock side.
That is a great point, and Quizbowl still does not have that lamp yet. So he is going to have to do some dark rooms here if he wants to get deep into the Palace of Darkness.
But imagine at the level that we're at, he should not have much trouble with those dark rooms. Alright, and let's head downstairs to see if we are bow-locked. And we're not. Carry on, wayward Quizbowl. Let's see what's further down into that Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, he should be able to make some decent progress in here. Let's see how this, if we get some items in here or not.
And Chad bring up a good point. We have not seen an Agina check yet.
Yeah, that Agina, he's always not worth it until he is.
And there's a very early big key here from the Palace of Darkness.
Getting some more small keys, which you expect to see in the front end of Palace of Darkness.
There are some circles that call it the Nulla Dungeon, as it's mostly business in the front, party in the back.
That was an
the
interesting
unique
hint.
item. Yeah. Catch it again.
So a unique item can be bought. So that is... I don't think they've bought an item yet, so that gives us... that's Pyramid Fairy... Not Pyramid Fairy, I'm sorry. That's Zora, and the Smiths are technically a bought item.
The bottle of it. Oh, that's probably... Chat bringing up, that's probably our assured boots hint of the seed.
Oh, that's right, the boots. Oh, they were so early.
Yeah, that's one of those... the boots are one of those hints that are always out there in the seed. Whether they're in a place you'll find them is another question, but I think that's just our guaranteed boots hint. As our bottle vendor has also been working part-time as a cobbler. Quizbowl makes it through the dark room, finding himself a small key. And something. We just don't know what, or is he having issues finding the chest? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's opened it yet. There we go.
It's dark. It's hard to tell what's going on. And if it was certain items, it wouldn't be visible through the dark screen anyway. There we have a mushroom on Quizbowl's side.
Yeah, getting some, building up those fetch quests here. I don't think we've had a shovel turn in either.
Who likes playing fetch? You do! Who's a good runner? Yeah, Quizbowl's making their way through the dark maze.
Yeah, definitely not too scary with our blue mail and 9 hearts now in this alleged hard mode seed.
We don't have any Randomizer shenanigans going on, so it's just those Dodongos hanging out and throwing the occasional fireball. As Mikan gets to play the button song of our people here. That knight statue has just not been cooperating tonight.
Yeah, definitely one of those things that's so much nicer to have the Cane of Samaria for. Yeah, it looks like Quizbowl has taken a fair amount of punishment here in the dark maze. Definitely that blue mail really paying off here.
I forget how much damage the hugs from those guys do, but the fire is I believe the fire is considered a trap, so that's a guaranteed 1 hard hit. And we've got some silver arrows buried underground.
And the Titan's mitts from that sequence breaking pod.
Technically in sequence, just he doesn't know it yet.
That is correct.
So I have to imagine he pulled together like we did that the lantern had to be in the Zora area. A bottle turn and turns into $20, though those Titan's mitts not unlocking a lot for us yet, aside from the Dark World Death Mountain. Which is a fair amount with the hookshot in tow.
That will also open up for us the Smith's Chain.
Ah, yes, more fetch quests, which I hope Quizbowl will do one of them soon. Those silver arrows are definitely nice to find.
Looks like Quiz is remembering that shovel, heading over to gonna grab his silver arrows here.
And so Mikan is going to check the Pyramid and Palace of Darkness area. I'd have to imagine that Dark World Death Mountain is probably next on Quizbowl's mind. Unless he decides to go finally knock off those flipper lock locations. No, where he's at, I doubt it.
Yeah, that would be an interesting play. We'll have to see what he's thinking. If his priorities are for the overworld checks or those dungeons. And we've got Mikan's going for that catfish.
Now it's time to see if putting it off pays off for Quizbowl. And remembering he doesn't have the Titans mitts yet.
All right, Mr. Fishy, let's see something interesting here. Let's give us some progression. Wrong fish there, Mikan.
$5.
Another bloopy.
Lots of extra bloopies in the item pool that are replacing those hearts we would have gotten because hard mode. After all you really need is $5.
So with that lamp, Pod is definitely looking like the play from Mikan.
And it'll probably be a little bit faster as he won't have to stumble his way through the dark as Quizbowl's finally going to pick up his lantern and maybe feel a little bit of something for that. But we will get to see what Zora has. That hit the hit we got earlier for the item bought may have sent him up here, but is he deciding against it? Interesting decision here. Quizbowl opts out of Zora despite having the money to do so.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
And has decided to likely burn his mushroom and not go for any fake powder shenanigans, as I doubt he'd want to save and quit from here. Or to hard reset from here.
Yeah, plus without that having that King of Samaria already in his inventory, it looks a lot less tempting.
Yeah, and it looks like he just decided, you know what, I got this mushroom, I'll just sit here and then go up to Zora.
Huh, that is, interesting routing.
Plus, without the flute, there's no other great time to check the witch. Because, of course, the witch could be holding on to the flute. Trading drugs for music. Alright, and we traveled all this way, gave him 500 rupees, and all we got was this 100 rupees.
Ouch. Well, could be worse. We can at least say that.
I mean, 20% cash back would be a pretty good deal on a credit card, not so much on the Zora.
And I guess Quiz missed that 50 rupees on the way up since he did go recheck that and opted to skip it.
Alright, and here we have the bottle glitch for Mikan. Walk those mimics on screen, and the game's like, yeah, they're dead, open the door. A very clean little hellway there for Mikan, and what's hiding over here? Just a map and a small key. Quizbowl heads back to the Dark World over by Hype Cave. What do we have next for him? Are we going to see that early Ice Palace with our Pombos medallion?
Ooh, that's, I don't think there's any other reason to head down to this area. I think Quiz is realizing that too and deciding against it.
I mean, mean, the dungeon is almost completable. I mean, he has the hook shot, so he can check everything.
Yeah, actually,
There
Ice
is
Palace
that-
should be fully in logic right now.
All things, barring the key logic, there are certain key logic scenarios as Mikan pulls off an excellent hammer yum. There are some key logic scenarios that would require the Cane of Samaria. I think Quizbowl ran down there halfway down and realized, oh wait, I can't mirror, so I need to save and quit back to the light world to get to Ice Palace. This isn't inverted, the door isn't open for us.
Oh, that's an excellent point.
And we'll get to see the use of that Bombos medallion we picked up to get us through Ice Palace, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and we've got 3 hints in here. First hint, not paying off so much, but we've got 2 more that have the chance to not be trolls.
As Mikan finishes up the last couple checks here in Palace of Darkness. Titan's Wits being the only prize here.
Yeah, definitely still a good item, especially Mikan not having to worry about any of those dark rooms.
Yeah, and this does open that brought that that Ice Palace logic in, so there's hopefully something hidden in here for our runners. Still looking for that mirror. Still looking for those fire and ice rods. Still looking for the bow. The
Plus, we got that flute, yeah.
And potentially the Ether Medallion, depending on what our medallion requirements are, as we have not seen either of those yet. And Mikan is deciding to go the other route, and like, I don't want to deal with Ice Palace without the fire rod. Let's go to the dark side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, with those Titan's Mitts, it's definitely a very tempting play to make.
Two items, Super Bunny 5 in the Hookshot Cave. This Quizbowl gets it very clean set up on the double Stelfo skill to find out we've got not a lot of useful hints here. Alright, what is our medallion requirement for Turtle Rock? It is Bombos!
So that's 1 down. We still might need that Ether Medallion. We'll need the flute to find that out first, though.
Mikan cracking the door, likely gonna check that hint tile.
Yeah, I hope he does.
Curious to see if we finally find our useful hint here.
4 jokes!
I believe there are more jokes added into the hard mode.
Yeah, it's definitely something I actually, I think I've asked for confirmation about that in the past, but haven't gotten it. But based on the hard mode seeds I've commentated, I would definitely agree with that.
The anecdotal evidence is definitely there. And we have, I think that's Kane. Might be.
Yeah, and a bow!
Ho ho ho! Well then. Oh, the places will go. Hookshot Cave coming in huge. Still 2 more items left on the dark side of Death Mountain. I'm still not seeing a whole lot from this Ice Palace pay from Quizbowl. Alright, Dark Death Mountain coming in big here. Still a few chests left here in Ice Palace.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see something in here for Quizbowl. There are a couple options that would... That fire rod!
How's a fire rod sound?
Took the words out of my mouth.
It's not as feels bad as fire rod on Cold Stare, but... And Mikan deciding to check at least 1 chest here in Turtle Rock. Depending on the key layout, he could go get a few more in. And that does grant that key find does grant him access deeper into the dungeon if he so chooses. looks like he read that early cane to say, hey, there's maybe something hidden here.
Yeah, given where he found the cane, it's not really surprising he made this leap of logic and said, you know what, I'm gonna dive into Turtle Rock a little bit, see what I can come up with.
Interesting that we know that the fire rod is hidden here in Ice Palace. Mikan needs to be careful. One more bite from those chain chomps and he's going home.
Oh! The jukes! And the flute!
And that is pointing toward, unless we find the ice rod here on Cold Stare, we're looking at a required double dip of Turtle Rock. What a find here on that Turtle Rock gamble, my Mikan.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple other places that ice rod could be hiding to not require the double dip, but yeah, wow.
It's not looking likely. Mikan serenades us with the song of his people on the way over. And we're gonna head in over to the Kakariko for Mikan and serenade the swag duck and send us flying around the map. Swag duck me up inside, we are free! Alright, Mikan, where are we fluting to first? We're gonna go turn in that mushroom to find 10 sticks. Hey kid, you want some sticks? Take a blue potion, no? Always good.
I think I'd definitely rather buy some blue Gatorade than chopsticks from a weird witch lady.
And Quizbowl taking a Death Warp out of Ice Palace will not see Cold Stare. Oh no. Just gonna have to use that to get himself back to the front.
Alright, so Mikan, let's see that. Alright, I saw it, but I didn't see it.
I think it was Bombos, but I'm watching the restream here to verify it. And that was too quick, but I'm thinking Bombos.
Yeah, too quick, Jim.
Sometimes I wonder if these runners actually process what's happening, but seeing that Bombos medallion in his hand, he's heading straight in, and that is clearable with that cane he found in Turtle Rock.
That's right, and yeah, that gives us the, for all dungeons, a single medallion required with a fire rod lock. Wow, that Bombos value.
And Quizbowl did take the Death Warp as he used the keys in a way that was not great. It kind of locked him out of where he wanted to go.
So does this mean we might see a situation that you were saying earlier, where he could end up locked behind the cane here?
Potentially, I'm not 100% familiar with the key logic, though the bomb jump he's setting up here kind of overwrites that. Had he not used the keys the way he did. I'm not the most familiar with key logic yet. It's always just to me, it always just feels better to come in here with the red cane.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those sequence breaks I discovered as a kid and felt really proud of, being able to skip that whole section of Ice Palace.
Alright, so only two unique items to be found in Misery Mire. We just found the big key to open up another location for him.
Yeah, and we did not get one of the high-value hints in this seed, which will tell us whether or not there is an item worth getting in the fire-locked area.
It looks like Mikan has decided I'm gonna go just straight back to Vitreous and come back out, since I basically got the closest thing to Godmire.
Yeah, and without that fire rod, that other section of the dungeon is not as easy to go through.
Alright, and Quizbowl heads down into his cold stare fight with tempered sword in hand. Should not give them too much trouble.
No, I think we'll definitely see him roast up some of this cotton candy eyeballs, no problem.
Gets to spin it on time, but does lose control of those cold stares.
Oh, and he's
Cold stare hugs aren't the friendliest.
Oh man, that cold hug. That's 2 deaths in Ice Palace.
Looks like he's gonna dust himself off or warm himself up and move his way back in for round 2. And Mikan is gonna head back to their pretty easy Vitreous fights. Though not as easy as this is hard mode, so those silver arrows do not work.
That's right, they only work on Ganon, so he is opting for the a combination of sword strats and oh, another hug!
And press F to pay respects. Those bosses are pretty tough today. I think we finally found where we are really feeling the hard mode variation.
Yeah, I was just about to say thank goodness for these horrible deaths on bosses. Finally giving us some of that hard mode that we wanted to see here tonight.
And Quizbowl's being bullied around by those berries. Alright, after taking the death, Mikan has decided I'm going to take the rest of this dungeon, and then go back for round 2 with Viddy. His Ice Palace is just not agreeing with Mikan here.
Yeah, he's going to be entering Cold Stare probably a little less healthy than his last attempts. Going to be very close to dying here.
Alright, and Mikan will have to do this the slow way as he doesn't have that fire rod from the Ice Palace. Well, Quizbowl can now survive 2 Cold Stare hugs. Well, I take that back.
Yeah, spoke too soon. The classic commentator's curse there. And chat, you are correct. Burna does not give invulnerability in hard mode. It only it still does the circling spark damage, but the only thing that gives invulnerability is that cape, and it goes through your magic extremely quickly.
Yeah, it does take up. It has double use, or double cost. And the Cane of Burnout just provides you with a spinning ball of fighter sword damage.
Speaking of terrible things, Mikan finding the 5th joke hint in this seed, locked behind one of the areas that you really want to find a hint telling you you don't have to go there.
And unfortunately for Mikan, still not a whole lot to be found here, so we know Vitreous is going to have by this point, Vitreous must have an item. I have not seen any items come up on Mikan's screen yet. And now we're down for round 2 with Cold Stare.
Yep, looks like Quizbowl's going for the same strategies, probably going to try to keep those eyeballs grouped up a little bit better in the corner this time. There we go.
Does not take the hit from the ice block, does lose control of them, but he's got 1 down. There's 2. Gotta be careful here. And there's 3. Redemption for Quizbowl.
A well-earned finish after all those deaths in the Ice Palace.
And there is crystal number 2 for Quizbowl as Mikan makes his way into the dark side of Misery Mire.
Yep, and that's going to be Quizbowl's first of 2 5-6 crystals.
Taking inventory here, still looking for that ice rod and the mirror to finish out the seed.
So we know that now for pedestal, we can't have mirror on pedestal, unfortunately, due to Swamp Palace, but that ice rod.
What we also see potentially here is mirror sitting in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, how about that? So maybe get a little mirror GT and ice rod. It wouldn't be pedestal at that point, but
Both of those options seems unfun, as Mikan is deciding to put 3 arrows in each of these eyeballs.
looks like he's going for the same strategy as his last round, but being a little bit more cautious about the eyeball range.
Always gotta watch out for that lightning. It's hard to predict.
Oh!
Needs to be careful. Gonna go ahead and dip his blue potion just to make sure he survives this fight.
Yeah, it's a good play, especially since that first death he at least got to empty out Misery Mire, but now there's nothing to do but waste time dying to Vitreous now. Grabbing his hard-earned small key.
And a crystal. Misery Mire comes up empty aside from that crystal.
Yep, so both of our runners halfway to that Pyramid Fairy.
Right, and Quizbowl is going to head up to Hookshot Cave and find the Circus of Value hidden inside. And looks like Mikan is opting to finish Palace of Darkness here.
Yep, probably do the, well, actually no mirror, so unfortunately we can't do that back-to-back Dark Palace, Eastern Palace combo.
Interesting to note that Quizbowl has decided not to enter into Turtle Rock, where we know that Flute is hiding.
Yeah, and we still so far it looks like that double dip could be logically required.
Now that does put up an interesting note where, say the ice rod is hiding in...
Oh no, Quizbowl has the Cane of Burna! Oh wait, no, it works in this room, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does work in this room, the room in Misery Mire with the spikes, and the dark maze in...
No, you're right. And unfortunately just getting a B-Torp for his troubles.
Curious to see if Mikan decides to dip Ice Palace after this and see what that Pyramid Fairy yields. And Quizbowl's gonna head back into Eastern, so we have both our runners in the same location, just in different worlds.
Yeah, it's a nice little bit of divergence here.
More of a conversion divergence.
Yes.
Okay.
So now I don't remember the item counts from earlier. Are we expecting items on either of these bosses?
You know, I have failed and did not count. See, I don't remember I don't think Quizbowl did Eastern at all, so we can't look at his item counts here.
Yeah, that's right, because Mikan was the one that did the sequence break without the lamp.
It's interesting to note the chat picked up something I missed. Mikan actually picked up his third sword here in Palace of Darkness. So we got tempered, but in different ways.
Yep, that's an interesting property of hard mode, is that there's still the 4 sword placements, but the final sword, once you get your third sword, will be replaced with a rupee drop.
And we were expecting an item on Helmasaur. Unfortunately, it's $5. As chat pulling out the evilness of a Moldorm 2's Last Possessions mirror.
Oh, that would be quite evil.
Alright, Mikan going back for the safety there. And there are 10 sticks. Need the refill after doing that vitreous fight. And he's deciding to click on the wrong thing to flute to. Looks like he's going for that dip in the Eastern. To be a little bit faster for Mikan, as they will be able to just to go straight back to the Armos Knights.
Yep, so both of our runners here on the way to those knights, see if they have anything of value they've been holding on to.
They're not going to be that far behind each other here. Alright, aside from the Armos Knights here, what else could be holding our next bit of progression?
So I don't think we've gotten a Nagina's cave check yet, unless I missed it. We've still got the smith chain, we've still got hammer pegs, we've purple chest, which actually I think is part of the smith chain, so...
The smith chain never feels that great without the mirror. A lot of saving and quitting and long walks.
And we've also got the rest of Turtle Rock, since Mikan was the one who dipped in there, and he did not have the fire rod with him.
And we know some of the keys to progress are hidden in that fire-locked portion, and we could see, there's the mirror from the Armos Knights! Hello!
Oh my!
Who wants to go to Swamp Palace?
So that is literally everything in the world in logic except for Trinex for that ice rod.
And here we are, an hour and 8 minutes in, and we are an ice rod away from go mode in this hard seed. Here's hoping out for a pedestal seed from chat. And Mikan is required with this mirror. Spins his displeasure and moves on as Quizbowl looks like he's going to go ahead and finish up the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, let's get that pet hype for that ice rod. Or
Ice Rod of Legend.
or maybe even a book on the ped, ice rod hiding on one of our tablets.
Or a tablet holding the powder, and the magic bat has the ice.
I like the way you think.
Let's go further. We've got to go deeper.
More!
And it looks like Mikan is going to go ahead in and take care of Desert Palace. Having already completed Pod, it seems like a good play. And just looking at our tracker here, we got Mikan in a little bit of a dungeon lead here. 2 full dungeons ahead of me. That's some cash is held with the fishes. Well,
Would have been a useful hint quite a while ago.
even so, didn't really give much. The sleeps with the fishes hint is more so for things that are buried underwater and much less are active fish. First item in Desert Palace is 50 rupees. That's Mikan. Mirrors their way out of Cannonball DP. Quizbowl heading back to find those 5 rupees from King Helmasaur.
I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that reward.
Alright, so if my memory serves me correctly, we are expecting to see something from Land Molus back here. Could it be our ice rod?
I think Mikan skipped the big key chest, so he might have to do a little bit of backtracking here.
I think you're right. Interesting to note, Mikan still does not have that fire rod. So he'll have to go for some sword strats with our Land Molus friends.
Yeah, not too bad with the tempered sword at least.
And down go Land Molus. He will have to go back for that big key chest.
Yep.
For the question, answering the question in chat, yes, you can still turn in a fish to the bottle vendor. I don't think it's been random. The prize hasn't been randomized, as it usually see it as a full magic refill, 8 bombs, and 40 rupees. Alright, and what does Mikan have waiting for me in the big chest here? Just 20 rupees. And we're out. Not much left for him here except for Ice Palace. Oh, we'll also see the checkerboard here.
He's got Swamp too, and we've got some of those overworld checks as well.
Definitely hope for him that at least if you want to keep him firmly in the lead, he gets himself toward Ice Palace soon to get that fire rod. Though he knows it can't be hiding in Turtle Rock.
Let's see if Agina's been holding on to that ice rod this whole time.
What has our desert hermit been hiding from us all day? Just a hard container. For those asking in chat, the fire rod was hidden in Ice Palace. Quizbowl is taking the mirror and going for the plethora of item locations that is Swamp Palace. Mikan has decided to flute down to 8. Looks like they're making the Ice Palace play. Alright, now we look at our hint tile to see some caches in the sewers. Oh joy! I'm so glad we got to find out that items we had to go pick up as this is standard was in our hint system. Guarantee key from Quizbowl there as we head deeper into the palace that is Swamp. first item reveals some bombs for Quizbowl as Mikan is starting to make their way through the Ice Palace. Should make fairly quick work of this. As Quizbowl drains the water into Swamp Palace, we will head further on. As Mikan also has a little bit of trouble with those bullying berries. Its secret power is that green text means this hint is useless and you can move on. Alright, we have Quizbowl making our next check in Swamp Palace. Still looking for ice rods somewhere out there. Burritos to be found. We're heading on. Interesting to see if Quizbowl decides to head straight to the back or to the left and back. He's going for that left side swamp play. I haven't found any hints that said that this is worthless, so let's check them all. Quizbowl smart, they're remembering not to flood their key.
Yep, always a hazard when you head into Swamp Palace with that hook shot.
Oh, wait, we missed a hint there. There's a unique item on the west side of Swamp. Just saw that on the Ice Palace.
Yeah, I don't think Quiz got that hint.
You know what I think about it? I don't know if he did. This is, well, Quiz is going to making the check anyway, so perhaps he did, or if he didn't, well, he's heading the right direction, though. There are still some not so useful, unique items hidden there. I have not seen the Arrow of Destiny quite yet.
Yep, and we've of course got our powder and our bug net could also be there as well.
We will see. We will see. As Mikan finally picks up their fire rod. So where that ice rod lies definitely is the key to if Quizbowl can make a comeback on this dungeon completion.
Well, we'll have to see because powder.
Alright, there's a unique item found and another fetch quest on the board.
We still have that whole Smith chain available to us, so that powder definitely making the Smith sequence looking a lot more interesting.
Definitely set you up to run that just a little bit, just run that whole thing just a little bit faster. And Mikan making use of one of the lesser used Ice Palace bomb jumps. Sometimes I almost feel like this should be renamed to Bomb Jump Palace more so than Ice.
Yeah, I know that that is the bomb jump that you are told when you first start running Randomizer. That's the one to learn.
And I still can't do it.
Oh, totally. I'm so bad at this game, it is appalling.
Answer the question in the chat. Yes, both items did use their mushroom only to find 10 sticks. There's 300 rupees found for Quizbowl. Not too many checks left here in Swamp Palace. Looks like it may be coming up dry, barring what is on that powder.
So for Quizbowl, the best possible thing for him at this point could be to find that ice rod, and that send him to Turtle Rock to get that flute so he can start doing some go mode. Because until he finds that flute, until he gets up to Turtle Rock, he is going to be doing full clears.
Absolutely, and well, we still have that possibility of that ice rod hiding further into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. This seed is not necessarily going to point him in that direction.
And Pedestal is very much alive. Mothula, very much a possibility.
Mikan making very nice work with Cold Stare over there.
I believe that's Argus. It's okay.
No, Mikan killed Cold Stare. Quizbowl has got Argus. Mikan has gotten his Pyramid Fairy access.
Alright, so what are they holding on to? Right is left, left is right, up is down, and I'm just gonna hope that we find something of use here. Still a lot of checks to be seen.
I'm gonna guess that Mikan's heading right into Skull Woods with that fire rod.
It looks like you are correct. As that was so long ago, I can't remember how many items we found in our earlier checks of Skullwoods. I want to say it was at least one.
Yeah, I think it was like a piece of heart or maybe some rupees. Definitely nothing to write home about. There's something hiding in the back.
And interesting to note, if Quizbowl... Actually, nobody's set up to pull this pedestal yet.
Yeah, both of our runners have a single pendant. Mikan is about to get his second pendant, but he still has all of Swamp Palace to clear, and he knows he's going to have to full clear Swamp Palace between that big key and that unique item.
Unless, of course, we find our ice rod hiding back here.
Took the words right out of my mouth again.
We're not getting them back either.
That would actually be a really great hint in that case if we do find that ice rod before he hits Swamp Palace.
I would definitely set Mikan in a firm command of this seed. Not a lot of magic here for our moth friend, but 4 tempered sword swings sends him blowing up.
Just whacking that moth with his tempered sword like it's a roll of newspaper, collecting a second pendant for his troubles.
And it looks like Quizbowl is going to head back and take care of his moth as well. And so we are still looking for one more item here as Mikan is going back inside to check that last chest. Take inventory of what the other runner is missing as we find just another B-Torp there. Quizbowl needs to find that flute which is hidden in the Chain Chomp room of Turtle Rock. Mikan is just looking for that ice rod.
Yeah, and that ice rod, proving to be as trolly as possible, could be anywhere outside of GT at this point.
And Mikan is going to go ahead and head into Swamp Palace and find a whole lot of nothing. But it is that final pendant, so we could potentially see a blind pull as he heads out toward the Smith Chain afterward, as that's the last thing left sitting really open to us.
Yep, the only thing that we have in there is that powder, and the best thing that you could say for that powder is it could point him back in that direction, as opposed to... Well, actually, he's out of dungeons, so unlike Quiz, he doesn't really have any other options.
No, what's left of this seed definitely doesn't lean much toward Quizbowl having some time to catch up. As Mikan is just kind of running out of location.
Yeah, Quizbowl, if he wants to catch up, he is going to need to find that ice rod basically immediately, which best case scenario for him would be back down in the Smith Chain area, and then immediately head to Turtle Rock. Even then, it's going to be really tight for him to make up the time here.
As after Mikan finishes Swamp Palace here, there's not a whole lot left for him outside of that Smith Chain.
Did we get a King's Tune check?
We did on Quizbowl's side to find a bloopy.
So yeah, we've just got a Pyramid Fairy, K45, and Smith Chain, I believe.
I believe there's only locations I did not see checked yet. Alright, and Quizbowl deciding to walk back toward the village. He may be thinking it's time to finish up some fetch quests here.
Yeah, this is the play. This is the place to be headed right now.
All in all, looking back at where we're finding items in this seed, the only thing that really stands out to me as rude is hiding the fire rod in Ice Palace.
I don't know, that flute in Turtle Rock is very impolite.
It looks like it's pointing more and more toward a required double dip of that to pull that off, but not especially. Definitely save Mikan some time.
Yeah, I think at this point we can safely say it wasn't a strictly required double dip, but definitely a significant time savings. Quiz pulling up the final bottle in the seed with some Ecto Cooler inside.
Definitely won't complain about that, as we're going to go see what our Smiths have been working on all seed.
See if they've managed to forge a mystical weapon out of ice here.
They've been working hard just to show you a little bit of love.
A Dwarven forged Valentine's Day card.
Perfect for your sweetheart this season. As we head down into the Mad Bat Cave today, you've awoken me, and I shall curse thee with $20!
Alright, so we have got one more item out of the Smith Chain, and then from here we've got K45 is going to be on the way to that chest turn-in, and if we don't see anything in K45 or this big chest, Quiz has got to head. Oh, he can't head to Misery Mire. Oh, wow, what is Quiz going to do? He's got to get back up to Death Mountain. He's got nowhere else to go.
I feel like the only thing he had left there would be Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he's got Turtle Rock and Tower of Hera left, so no matter what, Quiz is either about to get his Ice Rod or he is going up to Death Mountain very soon.
And chat bringing up the amusing point that the true curse of the Magic Bat was wasting time on the left side of Swamp.
Shoutouts to chat for out-commentating us.
Someone's gonna keep me in line. And there's the Sunken Rupee Horde, as it's just 3 bombs from our chest that requires a technician to unlock, as Quizbowl's walking toward the desert.
Agina time, I think, for Quizbowl.
And as Mikan walks out of here, do we see a blind ped pull or do we head straight to Turtle Rock?
That is a great question. Oh man, I really hope he does that blind ped. I mean, with the possible time loss from not pulling that ped, you have to do it, right?
You're not going to be in a better position than when you are walking out of a swamp palace.
Oh yeah, plus Mikan still has that whole smith chain. He has not done that yet, so he's going to be in that general area anyway.
As we unfortunately know, it's not a whole lot. Doesn't quite get the quick cycle onto Argus there, but not too hard.
Alright, so Mikan has only one dungeon left, and he's probably going to want to find that ice rod before he heads inside. Now, he's got Pyramid Fairy available, which is one of the only places we have not seen in addition to that pedestal.
Yeah, and Quizbowl is heading into the Tower of Hera, which he found fire-locked earlier. Not gonna be much opportunity to make up time, and Mikan is gonna go ahead and pick up that big red bomb. $100 for a big boom. As Quizbowl gets their hour and 30-minute coffee break here in the bottom of Tower of Hera.
So on the plus side for Mikan, we know since the rest of the world is cleared, once he does the smith chain, or even if he decides to skip it, that ice rod's going to have to be in Turtle Rock if it's not here in the Pyramid Fairy, so he's going to be able to go straight into GT.
Well, he still has to finish that smith chain, and there's still that pedestal he can open up. And there's still a possibility of it being locked behind the book.
That's true.
Blue Rupee and literacy. Well, well, well.
The lore of this seed.
Who wants some more fetch quests? But now, that unfortunately kills the hype of a blind pull.
Oh, that's true. Although if he heads up there, maybe he'll just pull it just for the sake of it.
Heads down and realizes, wait, I need to go to the Dark World first.
I think Mikan's starting to feel the pressure a little bit at this point. Over an hour and a half into this race, trying to find that ice rod, knowing he's pushing 100% completion now. Probably not feeling like he's in a great place relative to Quizbowl.
Alright, and it looks like we are heading ourselves up to the pedestal. Get hype, chat. We're heading up there.
This is the moment you've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen.
But it looks like he's gonna read it first. And we have frames saved as it's just triple booms.
Well, at least we got him to go up to the pedestal.
That's a little feels good. Oh, we have no fetch quests left to be locked behind that book.
We got 2 tablets.
I'm just saying that there's no additional crumbs of the chain we can follow. So if I'm Mikan here, I'm probably gonna go pick up the smith, turn that in, mad bet, hammer peg, do the purple chest, and then hit that tablet.
That sounds perfect. That is optimal routing from his position.
I got something right tonight. And Quizbowl makes quick work of Moldorm and picks up his Pendant of Courage.
Now, chat raising a point, I might have missed this. Did we see the bumper cave?
You know, I don't know if anyone's actually taken a peek there.
Because we are still missing that magic cape, and we could still find that somewhere on our tablets or within Turtle Rock. Could we see the triple dip Turtle Rock?
And Mikan decides to leave that green goo behind. And it looks like Quizbowl is going to go ahead and make that dive into Turtle Rock to pick up their flute.
Both of our runners now with the rare double row of hearts in hard mode. Again, is this even hard mode?
All right, and we're gonna head down into one of the very few caves that purple chest will follow you into. As Mikan gets cursed with his 20 bucks. The magical ATM bat.
So Quiz is rapidly approaching his flute. I'm thinking with that fire rod, he's gonna probably push pretty far into Turtle Rock. What are you thinking?
At this point, I would commit to it. I'm already in here. Pretty much would have to say, I'm already in here, I've got everything. Ice Rod's still hiding. I'm not seeing a dot done yet, so I'm thinking maybe Ice Rod's hidden in here just to be super troll, and it might give me a chance to catch up.
Oh, Mikan fluting away from Bombo's tablet.
Interesting decision here. Alright, and there's the key we know we had to find there, and the compass. The Ice Rod still eludes. Unfortunately, even if that Ice Rod is hiding in that Bombo's tablet, I don't think that's enough for Quizbowl to make much of a comeback.
That's right. He's definitely going to be committing to this Turtle Rock play since he can clear everything, including the Mimic Cave, and having that Ice Rod on Bombo's tablet is going to hurt him just as much as it's going to hurt Mikan. Mikan also skipping the Ether tablet on his way back to Turtle Rock.
I guess he's just put in his mind that it's gotta be here. Definitely playing the percentages.
Well, I'm still on the train for the triple dip TR. If there's a magic cape lurking in here somewhere.
An interesting thought brought up by Chad is that if it's on a tablet, there's no chance of any save the portal shenanigans, as we see another one of those hard mode nurses countering those anti-fairies just turns them into a single heart.
That's right, and temporary sprite synchronization from our runners there.
As that Hokuboku just is a pain. Quizbowl using his key and is gonna go pick up the vanilla big key location. Still looking for Ice Rod. Oh. Found a big key. As the runners are just a few rooms apart, but a few dungeons apart also. Another chance to give them a follow if you have not done so already. They're definitely putting in a lot of tough work in this seed.
Yeah, these guys, it's been a great show from both these runners, both having made very different routing decisions, having turned out quite differently for both of them. And, we're almost an hour and 40 minutes into the seed. Both of our runners probably sweating quite a bit right now.
Yeah, if you're an hour 30 minutes in, you're just looking for the Ice Rod, you're not seeing a dot done, you're thinking, oh, did they find it first? Are they already in Ganon's tower? Alright, so looking back on this seed as Quizbowl heads into the Mimic Cave, where did our gap really start?
I think our gap, it started early with Mikan opted for the sequence breaks, where he bypassed a lot of lamp lock locations, whereas Quiz went with the seed logic a little bit more strictly. And that gap really widened, though, once they were both up to Death Mountain, when Mikan dipped into TR and grabbed that flute. I think that was the real deal maker for this seed.
Chad bring up another point of that accidental key locking by Quizbowl in Ice Palace. And then also taking a death to Cold Stare.
That's true. That did cost him several minutes right there.
And we're finding not much in Ice Rod in the Mimic Cave here, and we still have a few checks left in Turtle Rock. We're still looking for Ice Rod. First one to find it will find themselves in Go Mode, but if that's Go Mode for Quizbowl, that's still a long time behind.
I think are we out of chests in Turtle Rock at this point?
We still have Laser Bridge.
Oh, Laser Bridge! Now, is Laser Bridge in logic without the magic cape in hard mode?
I believe the Cane of Burna should still work in that room.
That's right. That is. I have really been trolled by that fact this whole entire seed.
Alright, and here's the real hype cave. Will we find us Go Mode here? And Quizbowl is going to go ahead and open up that door so they can get out of here. Unfortunately, there's very little chance for Quizbowl to save a portal here. First chest gives us the map.
Yeah, it's our last major dungeon item.
Still have to pull a key here somewhere. There it is. 2 chests remain.
Alright, one chest actually. There it is!
And 1 hour, 41 minutes, and Mikan has entered Go Mode, and a couple seconds later, so has Quizbowl. Major difference, Quizbowl is 2 dungeons behind.
Yeah, and a flute activation. Luckily, at least, Quizbowl will be able to finish up Turtle Rock here.
Not quite getting the sword beam to activate the switcher, and we're going to head in toward Terinax.
Well, so if you had been watching the seed 15 or 20 minutes ago, if somebody told you both runners were going to hit Go Mode within 5 seconds of each other, would you have believed them?
Probably not. Alright, Alright, so as Mikan heads in here, we're likely get that. I think that's our 7th crystal, and I think that means we get to do something soon. We better explain it fast.
Yep, that's right. It is time for the GT Tower Big Key guessing game. We've got 22 locations to go. We're going to start it up once we see Trinex die here.
Well, they're guessing in, so I better get this thing fired up. Alright, get your guesses in the chat. There are 22 locations where the Big Key could be hiding in Ganon's Tower. If you are a supporter of Speed Gaming, with either a subscription to Speed Gaming or Speed Gaming 2 through 6, or a donation of at least 250 bits somewhere, you can get your guesses in for a chance at our leaderboard and my everlasting love and support.
Bungie, what are you feeling tonight?
I'm a 17 guy. How about you?
I'm gonna go for probably Bob's chest, even though I put 2 in as my guess since I saw it was the only number I saw that wasn't taken.
All right, and we are heading in. Let's get started. And we're gonna go ahead and start on the right side for Mikan. Chest 1, small key. 2, penny.
Our second shiny penny of this seed.
And Quizbowl is it's letting loose their swag duck. And there we are on Bob's torch number 3. And the correct answer is 3. A very big congratulations to Disgraced Saint, who guessed 3. We're going to go ahead and give you your spot on the leaderboard. Not seeing you up there quite yet, but pick yourself up another one and you might see your... Congratulations, and Mikan is heading up through the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's a nice bit of mercy from a seed that's been pretty brutal and required pretty much. Was there anything that the runners didn't check? I think Bumper Cave, I think, was the only thing left unchecked in this seed.
Yeah, Bumper Cave definitely was left untouched.
The tablets, that's right.
The tablets that Mikan decided to skip despite them having the book. And Mikan makes quick work of the Zazax and heads into the next room of the gauntlet. Time for some BMOS and Selfos. All the Oses, all the time. As Quizbowl picks up their Desert Palace big key, they'll head themselves straight back to Land Molus and make quick work of them. Thankfully for Quizbowl, it is just right of Godmire when he gets into Misery Mire to pick up the big key. Though at this point, the gap is all but insurmountable, barring a series of Ganon falls that has not been ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, I'll admit I have seen quite a few hard mode seeds where Ganon hugs and fire bats have resulted in several deaths on Ganon, but with this health pool, they are 2 hearts away from maximum. This is a huge amount of health for hard mode. It's gonna be, it's gonna take a lot of effort to see a death on Ganon at this point.
Absolutely, and the main thing that could hold our runners back if they decide to drop into Ganon out of muscle memory after this, because as we are in all dungeon seed, we still have to go through Aghanim's Tower.
That's right. We'll have to see. Mikan did skip those tablets, which we do not know right now. I'll have to ask him after the race if that was a tactical decision or if maybe the race has been starting to get to him a little bit. So maybe he might do that first drop and take him a few minutes to realize that he needs to go back to Aga.
There's no worse feeling than having Ganon call you a dingus. The most biting words you could ever be called. And there is Land Molus down for Quizbowl. He'll now be heading up to Misery Mire, and then he can find his way to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, luckily between Desert Palace and the Godmire, which Quiz will quickly find himself in, probably the 2 faster dungeons that he could be behind at this point. But again, it's gonna take something special for him to catch up at this point.
Alright, Mikan is waiting for Land Molus 2 to explode. We will head across the pit, leave his last possessions behind in his honor, and we're heading up toward Aga 2. Alright, and it's time for Mikan's required geometry quiz.
Nice triple.
Quizbowl's not cooperating as he shows his displeasure. Alright, picks up 4. One hit left to go, barring some iframe shenanigans. Alright, down goes Agatu. The big pig is loose, but he's not yet vulnerable. We gotta head in and take care of the first instance of the Spectre. And Quizbowl finding his big key, and he's gonna head back to Vitreous. Mikan hit the mirror. Bonks over the hole and hits his mirror.
What a showman.
I think if you don't, I think you mirror bonk on one of those posts of the barrier. Alright, and Mikan heading into Aghanim's tower should not give him much trouble at all. As Quizbowl makes their way toward Vitreous. Not much to say here as Mikan is just walking his way through and making sure that all these guards know who's the boss. It's a bunny.
Sir Lepus?
I heard there was a night of those in the 70s.
Yeah, I think DeForest Kelly was involved in that.
Darn it, Jim, I'm a bunny, not the hero of Hyrule.
I'm so happy that you got that. That everything just worked out there.
I finally find someone else who I could talk about Night of the Lepus with. Alright, 70s horror B-movie references aside, we have an Aghanim to kill, and then we'll head into the Big Pig.
Meanwhile, Quizbowl poking that eyeball. Getting away from him a little bit there at the end, but still pulling off that kill, grabbing his final crystal. Now, it's not quite as exciting as the big key game, but we do get to guess about the number of blue balls. Bungie, what you thinking?
Just to give Quizbowl a little bit more of a chance, let's go all the way to 15. Even though that's not really much of a chance, because as the RNG is locked for the first fight, that would also mean 15 for Quizbowl. So that's just... I'm a jerk.
Yeah, you've seen Night of the Lepus. You can't be that bad.
Or I'm a cinematic masochist. These things have yet to be seen.
True.
As we get to boomerang our wizard a little bit.
Quizbowl dropping off his B-Torps, grabbing some safety potions.
One cannot blame them. As we are still in hard mode, despite the plethora of equipment we've acquired throughout this basically 100% seed. Just in the way that the runners routed it.
Yeah, now Mikan here is going to be headed into Ganon. He already used his blue potion, I believe, on a boss earlier. He did not pick up even the green magic potion. So he will not have any safety items at all for this Ganon fight.
However, as we did just take care of Aga 1, we do get a little bit of celebration on top of the pyramid and a full refill. Alright, we drop in the Big Pig. What have you got to say for us today? I've always wanted to learn more about slugs. And Mikan getting a really nice setup on that. Though the Triton does just go for a ride.
Alright, Mikan already smoothly moving Ganon into phase 2. Good position to hammer him a bit here. Did he just walk through the bats?
I'm not sure what's going on.
And there we go.
Ganon hugs are not friendly. But since he has the mirror and he just beat Aga 1, he gets to just drop right back in and try again.
Yeah, I think we're finally starting to see that that late seed hard mode starting to pay off a little bit more here.
Gotta watch out for that Trident. Ooh, taking a Trident hit. Needs to be careful. I think a hug takes him down. Ooh boy, there's the blue potion. He picked one up somewhere along the line. I think he visited the witch at one point.
Yeah, I think he must have bought that one. But now he is in phase 3, probably going to make it in phase 4 without any more damage. And probably a smooth fight after that for Mikan.
And Bottle buzzes his frustration against Ganon. Now there's one thing that can hold him back. And there he goes. He remembers to turn on his silver arrows. There's one. Torch glitch attained. Ooh.
Oh, but he bodied Ganon.
Gets the double, one more hit, and that's the final skewer. Down goes Ganon. All we have to do is cross the bridge and we get going.
Let's get some GGs in chat for Mikan there. Just short of 2 hours finishing up this race.
An all-dungeon hard mode scene, and he has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 58 seconds. GG to Mikan. And we'll likely get him in here for an interview shortly. Before he does that, what are your thoughts just generally on that seed?
That seed was an interesting hard mode seed. I mean, pretty nice with the safeties up front, but some of that item dungeon routing is a little less than intuitive. And Mikan's sequence breaking, it paid off in the end, despite the fact that both runners did hit go mode at roughly the same time.
As you can see, with all the diversions, we're still coming into go mode almost simultaneously, and we have now been joined by Mikan in the channel here. GG to you.
I'm so bad at this video game, dudes. It's wrong. It's so bad.
And what makes you say that coming into this?
All right. Let me list the ways. One, I don't know why in the world I died to Vitreous. I had some sort of lapse. Then like, oh. Surely I'll be fine with this 3 hearts and blue mail. I don't know why I didn't think I wouldn't die right there, but no, that absolutely happened. My routing after that wasn't the best. When I had the option between I should have done Eastern first and then done Pot at that because I knew Armus still had an item and I wasn't sure about Helmasaur. Let's see. Hold on. There's more ways. Don't interrupt me. I got this.
Please continue.
I should have went to Ice sooner, not because of the Fire Rod there, but because I was really interested in checking out the Pyramid Fairy. After I did finally find the Fire Rod, I think I spent way too long looking for the Ice Rod. And after getting the book, I just got fed up and went straight to Turtle Rock because the Ice Rod's always in Turtle Rock. Of the heckin' course it is.
That answered one of the questions I was going to ask, is why skip the tablets when you're still looking for Ice Rod?
I skipped them because I was just fed up with hunting for them because I was just, I don't need to do this anymore. There's no time to waste.
So it's interesting that you chose that as your routing. Like for you, that was the point where your routing was bad. Was post Meyer, because it turns out the sort of game-making play for you was that early check into Turtle Rock, grabbing that flute out of the Chain Chomp room. That was what catapulted you into the lead in this seed, and what won you the race, because you and Quizbowl were both in Turtle Rock on Laser Bridge. You both hit go mode within 5 seconds of each other, but you had the dungeon lead because you had that early flute.
Nice. I'm a big fan of that. Did he not take the Turtle Rock portal when going up Death Mountain the first time?
He picked up the items there and left for other ventures.
Right. I was just saying if he took the lower portal, he wouldn't have had the mirror to open up Turtle Rock like I did. That's the only reason I went in, is because the only reason I could go in is because I took the Turtle Rock portal instead of the lower portal.
No,
So-
now that I think about it, he did take the lower portal.
Okay. Yeah, that must have been
He
it
went and
then.
checked up through there and then headed over to Hera to find nothing. Because he did the first check of Hera to find the fire lock, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah. Okay, so this was also a mistake I did that turned into a miracle. I went up Death Mountain without the lamp, and I knew, like, the lamp or the flute has to be somewhere fairly soon on. I did the old man, and I really wanted to go to East Death Mountain right there, and if I had done that, I would have gotten blocked by not having fire, so I left to go find whatever it is that was going to lead me to Death Mountain, and sure enough, it was the lamp, and that let me complete Hera right there. And I'd like to say I did that on purpose, but that was actually a mistake. I should have just gone to East Death Mountain first and see what I would have gotten over there, rather than leaving to find the lamp or the flute.
But then again, sticking into the early logic did help you a little bit as Quizbowl sought out that break sooner. They didn't find the lantern until much later, losing some time to you and going through the dark maze in the dark and a few other dark room locations that you already had the lamp for.
I like that Mint location because as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, the bow can totally be behind this because of how the keys were laid out. It was really cool. You don't usually see like the big chest leading to the bow in that way. And I was really happy I went up to Dark Death Mountain immediately after and found it.
Yeah, definitely. I have to give you credit for a lot of just for like at least in the early game until that ice rod hint, just having the routing just guesses or the optimal reads of the seed throughout most of this race.
That's the only way I do any good, because obviously it's not my execution.
Well, it was definitely a tough night, as hard mode does lend itself to situations you'd rather not find yourself in.
I don't know why I picked hard mode.
Well, that leads me to my next question is, what led you to make these picks for this seed?
I don't know. It's not inverted and it's not retro, and I feel like I'm okay enough at guessing where things are, which doesn't really lend itself well to all dungeons. I should probably just pick normal Ganon instead of that, because all dungeons is more of an execution thing, which I didn't do so hard at if you were watching. But yeah, whatever, it's fine. I've won the 2 I've picked so far, so it's okay, I guess.
All right, and that leads me into my next question. That moves me into 2-1 in the tournament, as Quizbowl's almost to Agate 2. How do you feel going into what's left of the tournament here?
Well, I'm playing uninverted tomorrow against Hitsuyan, which is great, I guess. I actually haven't played inverted before. Maybe I should do that within the next somewhat hours or so before the match actually starts.
Interesting. Tao, have you got any more questions for our friend Mikan here?
So, since you did do that early sequence break, and I believe you pursued that a bit more than Quizbowl, how are you feeling up until the point where you finally found that lamp in the waterfall cave?
Well, the only real sequence break I did was taking the old man. I left immediately after that. I didn't go to the East Death Mountain then at all. I left to go find if it was the flute or the lamp, and I mean, I had the flippers and really hadn't used them for anything, so I figured that would, it would just be really quick to check out the waterfall, and I guess I was dreading Zora for a long time, because especially when I was hunting for the ice rod, because it typically, if I'm missing an item, it will always be a really early check. So I was actually dreading Zora for quite a long time, and that was one of the reasons I was actually interested in doing East Death Mountain before going to check Flipper stuff, because if I had found money up there to check Zora, that would have been super cool. But I'm glad I did end up doing it the way I did, because it got me the lamp to finish up Hera in one go while I was up there.
Alright, well, I don't think I've exhausted my questions. Definitely, I have to feel the sentiments of Quizbowl in the IRC chat. Probably should practice that inverted mode at least once.
Yeah, probably.
Gotta watch out for those moon pearls. Or what was that that really bad one with 3-heart cold stare? Alright, well, you're welcome to hang around a bit as Quizbowl makes his way through AGA 1, unless Tao has something else for us.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you're still fairly early in your races for the tournament. So, is there anybody that you're looking forward to playing against? Do you have matches coming up with?
I have the one against Hitsuyan tomorrow, but that's my only scheduled one. I actually really need to get my butt in gear and do these, because we're halfway through and I've done, what, 3 races? Nice, good job, me. I actually need to do my races. I'm actually really looking forward to facing Jim again, because I almost beat, and by almost I mean like 4 or 5 minutes, but I almost beat Jim, and that would have been super cool. Probably going to lose the next race against him, but I would hope that I can get another pretty close one against him.
Well, as that would be the second one, he's likely the highest seed out of here. What would you want to pick going into facing Gem?
You know, I think the only times I've ever beaten Gem were just in open seeds with nothing special, defeat Ganon, and I'll probably just do that, because it's probably just going to give me the highest chance.
Yeah, definitely. When you get to just that open mode, it leads more toward decision-making being the deciding factor aside from execution.
Yes.
Interesting to see the kind of shift in the early tournament meta. There's a lot of all dungeon seeds, so execution plays more of a call. But now as we see the lower seeded runners looking to try to make gains, just trying to find out where they're stronger, or if maybe it's just chance is where their options lie.
Yeah, I think Inverted was actually, it might have been one of the most popular choices for up until like a couple days ago, or even might still be now. And I just figured that's because, you know, the higher seeds are picking first, so they're picking stuff that they think their opponents may not be as used to, which makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to assume we're going to see a little bit less of that once we get a little further in, and probably going to rise up again once we get into the random ones.
And then definitely one of the other modes that always sits interesting in the back of mind is Retro, which is not practiced by many, and sits as one of those not often picked. How do you feel about Retro, Mikan?
Never played it. I'm sure I would do fine. I do okay at Key Sanity, and I feel like that's just a kind of a strange variation on that. I think it wouldn't be too bad.
Well, hearing all these facts, it seems it was good to you that it was just open mode used for the qualifiers.
Yes, I was extremely pleased about that, which is why I figured that after I do okay in the qualifiers, I'll probably go down like a chump in the group stages, but that's okay.
Well, you're doing okay to start. Let's hope for you that you can keep that pace going, as Quizbowl is going to go ahead and drop in toward their big pig.
Right, and I'm going to drop out as well then. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Mikan, and GG once again.
Yep, thanks, and congratulations on your win.
Yeah, thanks. All right, take care.
Alright, and Quizbowl is making quick work of their pig. Happy to get that full refill, and a nice little bit of movement tech there, getting himself right in position to face Ganon there.
Yeah, I mean, a few unfortunate hits there after a relatively clean first start to this phase 2.
But picks up that blue potion and getting themselves ready on in the next phase. And the final crux for Quizbowl, will he remember to switch on his silvers? And he does. 4 arrows left. Did we fight him in Light World? Yes, we did, Ganon. They're a little dirty, but they should still do the job as... Ooh. Getting a little bit smacked by that hitbox there. And
There we go.
That should set him up for a double there. And the final arrow is in for Quizbowl. Get your GGs up in chat. We're finally getting through there. Wait for that bridge to descend. He'll cross it, type in his done. Congratulations to Quizbowl, who will finish this race in second place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 49 seconds. GG. Now we should hopefully be joined by Quizbowl here shortly. So while we wait for Quizbowl to join us here, what are you excited to see going forward in this tournament?
I like to see more of the rare options. I mean, it's not rare, but inverted is always fun to watch. More retro is fun because the runners seem to hate it, and the more the runners suffer, typically the more we're entertained when we see a seed.
Alright, and we are now joined by Quizbowl. Thank you very much. GG's.
Hey, thank you very much. GG's to Mikan.
Alright, so general thoughts on that unfortunate seed?
Oh, it's not unfortunate. It's just not optimal.
I have to say that flute location.
That was I paused there for a couple of seconds. We're like, oh, that is such a hard call to make. You know, there are 4 or 5 chests still remaining in Turtle Rock, or get out of here and go dive Misery Mire and look for that ice rod. And I thought about it for a second. And I was like, no, let's finish it off, and you know, hopefully we'll see the ice rod later on. If not, we'll just come back later.
Fortunately for you, that ice rod did prove to be down there. The main thing I wanted to ask you about was Ice Palace.
Yeah, I know. There was my that's where I fell down. So I don't think I routed it very good at the beginning. So I wound up at the bottom of Ice Palace without the cane, and so then I had to I was like, oh, okay, I'll just do this vanilla style, and I'll hit the switch and I'll go upstairs. I'm like, but no, I don't have a key because Cold Stare was holding the last key. So I was like, no, I've got to go back to the beginning and do the bomb jump, and then of course I can't follow through with killing Cold Stare, so there was an execution issue. So,
but outside of Ice Palace, I have to say most of it was on point. It's just that flute location definitely set you a bit behind in time, as Mikan went straight for that Turtle Rock after he picked up the Cane of Samaria up there.
yeah, that was another
not having
routing.
fire. Sorry.
And that was another routing error that I realized I did. And I think I realized it the moment I stepped into the portal on the bottom of Death Mountain. I was like, oh no, I should have gone up at the top in case I had the right medallion for Turtle Rock, and I find the cane up here. But it was like, well, I don't have the cane yet, so I don't want to worry about it. And then I go into Hookshot Cave. Knew I should have gone up to the top first, and but I didn't want to save and quit and make the whole loop again. So. But I'll file that away as as something to improve on. So think about that next time I'm in that situation, because it comes up from time to time. It's good to remember when you make these mistakes.
Absolutely, it's always difficult to make that dive into a dungeon that you can't complete.
Yeah, that is another thing. But I've seen a lot of things in Turtle Rock come up. So if you can get the cane, that's usually an indicator you need to be checking out Turtle Rock. So.
No, absolutely. Tal, you've got any questions here?
No, I think you pretty much covered the stuff that I wanted to ask.
All right, so that puts you now at 2-7 for your tournament, just over the halfway point. How do you feel going forward, Quizbowl?
Well, you know what? I came in here fully expecting to 0-15. I made it in here just under the wire in the qualifying position, and so I'm happy. I've got two good wins against opponents, and the rest of this, I know there's probably mathematically eliminates me here with 7 losses, but I'm just gonna have fun with the rest of my tournament and enjoy every game.
All right, and looking at what have you got scheduled coming up?
So I think about 10 hours from now, I got one against Jem. It's our 3rd race. It was randomly generated to be exactly what we did when it was his pick. I don't know how that worked out, but then I am gone for a week. I'm taking some vacation, so you won't. I'll be on hiatus, and then I'll be back and finish out my matches the week of the 26th.
All right, and do you, I guess, going into those 3rd rounds, what do you look to veto when you're getting into that randomized third round?
Good. Now that everyone, I'm the lowest seed, so now everyone has made their choices. The rest of the choices are either mine or random. I am totally random, vetoing swordless. I know I had some issues with inverted earlier in the tournament, but inverted is it's just a special case, and I can deal with inverted, I think. But swordless, I don't know how to do this game without a sword. So and now that no one knows that weakness, or no one can capitalize on that weakness, I'm feel free saying that.
Well, definitely. I didn't want to put you in a situation that puts you worse off in your tournament, but definitely inverted can be a beast, as I noticed you were mentioning to Mikan before he goes to hopefully practice his first seed.
Yeah, there's some special situations here. I had a really tough seed early on in the tournament, and then I had another inverted seed. I was actually yesterday. It didn't get restreamed, and it was Hype Cave had Hammer, Mitts, and Pearl in it, and it was like, oh, you're apologizing to me for all the terrible inverted seeds that you've given me so far.
All right, and before I let you go, any last thought before we sign off the air here?
Nope, just having a good time here, and I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Thank you guys for commentating and tracking, and Mr. Broadstone for restreaming. Everything that you guys do, it's greatly appreciated, and I love being part of these.
All right, thank you. You have a great night, and get yourself rest up for that race you got coming up. Tau Decay, you want to help send us off?
Yeah, just again, shout-outs. Thank you, Quizbowl, for putting on this great show for us tonight. Thank you also to Mikan, your opponent. Give both these guys a follow. They put on a great show for us this evening. We've also got Mind of Me doing tracking tonight. my co-commentator Bungie to the Tree. Thank you for doing this with me tonight. Please give a follow to Speed Gaming 2 through 6, and ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5. I've been Taudike. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll leave you, Bungie, with the last word.
All right, if you check out speedgaming.org/schedule, you will see there is a massive Saturday of events. Not only a Link to the Past randomizer tournament, but all kinds of things. Paper Mario: The Thousand Years Door, more of the SNES Superstars, and all kinds of great things out there. I will see you tomorrow morning for some great randomizer. Good night and GG.